Okay. For some reason, the government thinks that they are going to convince us that they've got alien spacecraft and alien beings that they've captured. For some reason, they want us to believe this.
UFOs. A former U.S. intelligence official, an Air Force veteran, claims a top secret program is withholding evidence of alien spacecrafts. Certainly.
So there's been several government employees or whatever that are trying to say that, because this has been going on for a year, where they've been talking, the government's been telling us, yeah, there's alien life, these UFO sightings are real and all this stuff. Where before they've always denied it, but now they're embracing it, and they're trying to now they're trying very hard to convince us that aliens are real and they've been here.
Interesting. The military whistleblower has now handed over classified information to Congress. Fox's Lauren Blanchard has more.
So how did he turn over classified information? That's what I'm wondering. He had access to classified information. This is some evidence right here, guys. Look. See the evidence? A little
David
blurry
Grush
dot.
handed over extensive classified information to Congress and the Intelligence Community Inspector General, saying it exposes top secret programs that have retrieved and studied debris from alien spacecraft, which he said.
So are you guys believing this shit? Because if this was true, it'd be the biggest news in the history of humanity. I mean, it would be nonstop news. That's all you would be seeing on TV. But people ain't buying it.
Have been
I ain't buying
intentionally
it.
withheld from lawmakers and the American public. His claims coming just days after a first-of-its-kind NASA hearing on
NASA's having hearings on it, guys.
UFO sightings
It
around
must be real.
the world.
It's now our collective responsibility to investigate these occurrences with the rigorous scientific scrutiny that they deserve.
And some lawmakers agree the military and intelligence community need to
When the military and the intelligence community comes together and tries shoving something down your throat, never believe it,
be
guys.
more transparent.
I think we should be open to
Swallow well.
hearing it
He swallows well.
and telling the American people as much as we possibly can.
I think people are ready to hear whatever's out there. Maybe it's man-made aircraft, maybe it's otherworldly.
Maybe it's all bullshit,
Stay
guys.
tuned.
NASA is expected to release its final report on its UFO study by the end of July. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Science is corrupted anyways. NASA belongs to the government. NASA is the government. So they're going to tell you whatever bullshit the government wants you to know or think
Agency
you know.
is formally blowing the whistle
This is the whistleblower.
on secrets he says no one has ever shared publicly before.
You are one of the most trusted former intelligence officials in the U.S. defense and intelligence establishment.
Yes, I was.
You were
So I watched a body language expert break down this interview. And while this guy's talking, as he's saying stuff, he's shaking his head like this. And he's like, yeah, we found bodies, man. And I guess one of the telltale signs that you're lying is you're going like this.
trusted with the
Anyways, the body language guy didn't buy any of
most
it.
intimate secrets.
Yes.
Grush sitting down with award-winning investigative journalist Ross Coulthart, who's reporting for News Nation and has spent years reporting on the UFO question.
What conclusion
So they have a reporter that's been doing all kinds of UFO stories for decades. So he's obviously a believer in the UFO shit.
did you come to at the end of your time on the UAP task force?
The UAP task force.
UAP, they don't say UFO anymore because UFO just sounds hokey. And if they use the word UFO, nobody would believe it. But they're using UAP, but still, nobody believes it.
Refused access to a broad crash retrieval program.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
So this guy technically has never ever seen the spacecraft or the alien bodies.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
You know how stupid you are if you believe this?
How many?
Quite a number.
You're kidding.
Quite a number.
No. I thought it was totally nuts.
Supposedly they have 10 to 12 spacecraft that many UFOs have crashed from other planets, okay, here. And an undisclosed number of dead alien bodies.
And I thought at first I was being deceived. It was a ruse. People started confiding in me. They approached me. I have plenty of current and former senior intelligence officers that came to me, many of which I knew almost my whole career.
He's doing this. Yeah, so he's never seen it, but he's had many people come to him and tell him this shit. And he's obviously got the blessing of the government to come forward with this information, because there's no propaganda out there trying to discredit this guy. None.
Confided in me they were a part of a program. They named the program. I've never heard of it. And they told me, based on their oral testimony, and they provided me documents and other proof, that there was...
So he just swallowed real hard and went, did you catch that? The body language guy said that's another telltale sign that you're, trying to tell somebody some bullshit.
Is in fact a program that the UAP task force was not read into.
Grush alleges the U.S. government has recovered non-human craft for decades.
For decades, we've been collecting UFO spacecraft.
Filed a whistleblower complaint saying he gave what he calls the classified proof to Congress and the Intelligence Community Inspector General. NewsNation has confirmed David Grush's credentials and resume. We've not seen or verified the alleged proof he says he's provided to investigators.
I haven't seen the alleged proof. And like I said, this guy's never seen any of it. He's just taken other people's word for it. It's funny to watch the mainstream media try to cover this like it's real, legit news.
He says he can't show us the proof for national security reasons.
I can't show you the proof for national security reasons.
He also tells us he's not seen photos of the alleged craft himself.
He's not even seen photos. Oh, this whole thing is hysterical. Show us the aliens, guys. Show us the spacecraft.
But has talked extensively with other intelligence officials who have.
If you're right, if you're telling us the truth, everyone, the entire American public, has been lied to for decades.
For decades. Yeah. That's what the government does. They lie to us.
There's a sophisticated disinformation campaign targeting the U.S. populace, which is extremely unethical and immoral.
If we only had a ministry of truth.
You are saying to the human race, for the first time, an official intelligence representative at a high level from the US government is saying publicly, we are not alone.
We're definitely not alone.
15 days to slow the spread of aliens, guys. There's something going on. Government wants something. They want to do something to us or steal from us. They either need billions or trillions of dollars to fight off the alien threat, or they're going to take away our rights somehow. You know what I mean? It's the only reason they're doing this.
Absolutely, the data points.
They know that the general public is fucking stupid, and they'll believe this shit.
Points empirically that we're not alone, yeah.
Do we have bodies? Do we have species of
Well,
non-human?
naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true.
He shook his head like this, right? So he's still never seen it. He's never seen any bodies. He's never even seen a picture of one. He's just going by what his buddies told him.
It's
bullshit.
Also harder for people to wrap their minds around the concept of a crashed object.
This is another lady that's supposedly a reporter, but she's written all these UFO books and shit for decades, so she's another kook.
Object from somewhere else. It's easier to accept that, yeah, we see things in the sky that we can't explain.
Journalist Leslie Kean broke Grush's whistleblower story this morning in the debrief. Ms. Kean's career has been mainstream and credible, having written a series of reports on UFOs in the New York Times dating
Supposedly this lady spent her whole life writing UFO books and shit.
back to 2017. He has the credentials, but there's no documents that he's handed over. There's no pictures. And as a journalist, you want to see documents, you want to see pictures. Does that raise a red flag?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Brian. I
something-
mean, you mean documents that actually describe the
You mean actual real proof? No, we don't need that.
craft?
Correct. Yeah, like government
Yeah.
documents, or to be able to see it for ourselves.
Of course, don't we all want that? And
We can't, but it's top secret. Otherwise, they'd show it.
the problem with that is all of that information is classified. You know, as we said in the story, everything that Grush told Congress and told the Inspector General of both the IC, the Intelligence.
You guys believe in any of this stuff? If so, I have an insurrection story I'd like to sell you.
Intelligence Community Inspector General.
So I've got to be blunt about this. You're not making this up. This is
No.
not a lie.
No,
You wouldn't lie to us, would you?
absolutely not.
No.
Because everybody watching this right now is looking at your face. They're going, is this guy for real?
I am for real, and I'm sitting here at great personal risk and
No risk whatsoever. He's got the total blessing of the government.
Obvious
Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing this shit.
professional risk
There's no smear campaign going on against this guy.
by talking to you today.
He has a compelling story to tell. Very little of it seems like firsthand knowledge. Is it
Little of it, none of it. None of it is firsthand knowledge.
he just repeating what somebody else
Look, there's more proof. See that in the picture?
has told him or somebody else has
Some
showed him?
flares in the
Yes,
sky.
that is what he's doing, but he says he's talked to a number of people who are in very, very high level positions. He also had basically the highest level of classified material information that he was able to receive. We went
High-level government officials told you that January 6th was an insurrection. It was worse than 9/11.
back and checked over, his history, all of his credentials.
checks out.
Check out completely. Unfortunately, there's
In
really...
addition, a couple people have come forward publicly to vouch for him, people who are high ranking.
They have, and this...
A bunch of high-ranking intelligence officials said that Biden's laptop wasn't real. It was Russia, that disinformation.
article first came out this morning, and I think it's interesting that,
The list is a mile long of all the shit the government's lied to us about.
there hasn't been any sort of effort to discredit what he has said either
And the news.
from the Defense Department.
So
Congress is actively investigating them. I understand that the intelligence committees in both the Senate and the House have the detailed information, and they're now trying to verify it, and rightly so, because if this is verified, this is the biggest story of all time.
It would literally be the biggest story of all time if it was real, right? And they've been trying to tell us that this shit is real and no one's buying it.
No story could be
Because you're not showing us any evidence.
bigger and more impactful.
Because it's all bullshit.
Every aspect of our lives would be changed forever. And Congress is on the case and pushing for that verification.
Don't worry, guys. Congress is on the case.
So if we do have proof of extraterrestrial life, why keep it from the public?
Well, that is a really fascinating question.
Isn't it? That's fascinating. This is Michio Kaku. He's a physicist. You guys probably know who he is.
Follow the money. We physicists say follow the evidence.
Follow the evidence. Remember what he just said.
Follow the people who have access to the evidence. Now, this is right out of a Hollywood script. In the past, we've had farmers and suburbanites say they saw something out there. The burden of proof was on them to prove that they were extraterrestrial visitations. Now the burden of proof has shifted. Now the Pentagon has to prove that these aren't extraterrestrial.
It's up to the Pentagon to prove that these aren't extraterrestrials. Follow the evidence, he's just said.
And now we have this senior Pentagon official, former Pentagon official David Garouche, who says that there are evidence of not just the wreckage of UFOs, but an intact vessel, perhaps even the
There's no way that this scientist believes this shit. He's acting like he does, though.
bodies. And again, the difference is that this is no longer just a farmer or a suburbanite saying they saw something out there. Now there is a debate within the Pentagon itself.
Yeah. Now the government officials are telling you it's real, so it must be real. Man, the nearest star to us is Proxima Centauri. Okay, 5.8, almost 6 trillion miles away, guys. That's the nearest, closest star. Okay, so these aliens, they're not coming from that star. They're much, much further away. You'd have to go at the speed of light to get here. I mean, are they coming here and with no plans of ever going back home? Okay. What's the Voyager is a satellite that we blasted off in the 70s, I believe. And it's slowly picking up speed as it goes. It's been going for that long. It's going at 40,000 miles an hour, and it'll take almost 100,000 years going that fast to reach the closest star to us. So these aliens, they must be able to travel at the speed of light, which is impossible. That breaks the Einstein's relativity laws. They could travel at the speed of light. They just can't drive their spacecrafts. They keep crashing them. Like 12 of them have crashed. They're smart enough to travel here, but too stupid to land them, I guess.
The highest level, with different people within the military contradicting each other. And so I think that this is a good thing, because now perhaps the truth will come out.
One of the claims that David Grush
The government will tell you anything but the truth.
makes is that the evidence he has witnessed suggests that of the crash wreckage, some of the crash wreckage that's been retrieved, the elements are not of human origin. And he also states that they've recovered pilots, maybe singular, but it seemed as though it was of non-human species. And I can only imagine that that sort of gets your spidey senses tingling. What are your thoughts
Your bullshit senses are tingling.
about that kind of
I
possibility?
mean, if you're a real scientist.
Well, I'm a scientist. We have to be open to the truth.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is a real scientist too, supposedly, and he believes there's 100 genders.
And to data.
I shit you not.
That's what we physicists work on. The more information we get, the better. Now, so far, we have not seen the smoking gun. We have not seen evidence of DNA, for example, from these alien bodies.
Yeah.
We haven't seen alien transistors and alien circuits.
You haven't seen their bodies, and you haven't seen the spacecraft.
That would clinch it right there. No ifs, ands, or buts. As soon as we have alien DNA or an alien chip, end of story. It could be homeworlds to other intelligent beings. And we now have a census of the Milky Way galaxy. Every star.
The Milky Way galaxy, if you could go at the speed of light, would take you 100,000 years to get there. If you could go at the speed of light, just to reach the closest star, it'd take 4 years.
Star, on average, has a planet going around it. In other words, think about it, 100 billion planets, minimum, in your backyard, in the Milky Way galaxy. And that
There's 100 billion planets in our galaxy. I'm not saying there's no such thing as aliens, and there's probably aliens in the Milky Way. I think that it's just, we're so far spaced apart, we could never reach each other.
That's why I think
this whole alien story, I don't believe any of it. I mean, 0% of
that
it.
to assume that
But that's just me.
There's nobody out there is ridiculous. Of course they're out there. The only debate is to whether or not they can reach us, but yes, they are out there.
And more unexplainable sightings are
There's more evidence, guys, look.
adding to the growing push for answers from the U.S.
Blurry, fuzzy videos.
government.
We cannot keep turning a blind eye to surveillance data that is critical to detecting and tracking UAP.
Is it just me, or is it just the Democrats pushing this alien shit?
This week on Capitol Hill, the top Pentagon official reviewing unidentified aerial
Look, that looks like a cockroach.
phenomena, or UAP.
Look. Is that an alien? It looks like they superimposed a cockroach.
He says they're investigating roughly 650
That's not true.
cases. That's up from more than 500 reported at the beginning of the year.
The majority of unidentified objects reported to AARO demonstrate mundane characteristics of balloons, unmanned aerial systems, clutter, natural phenomena, or other readily explainable sources.
Yeah.
Splash. And so far, no proof any of them are aliens. But with
zero proof, guys.
The team of researchers, Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, is leading on science to dig deeper.
Even if we have 1 million fuzzy images from cell phone cameras, they are not equivalent to one crisp image with high resolution from a well-calibrated scientific instrument.
Yeah, we have zero crisp images.
Loeb is planning an expedition to Papua New Guinea this summer to search for what he thinks may be an interstellar object that crashed down there in
He's a quack too, this guy.
2014.
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will. It's probably not the right parlance, but no kidding, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
Is there anybody out there that believes any of this shit?
Yeah, this
Leave a comment. Tell me why you believe this shit.
is a crazy story. Let me start by saying I would have to have an extraterrestrial being sitting right here to ever believe they exist, because I just don't.
It's not an amazing story. It's a crazy story.
So let's start there. I've always believed hypersonic missiles could be the explanation. And then I saw that he said that they've been collecting these parts for decades. So I went back and looked. Hypersonic missiles have been around since about the 1940s. So that could be an explanation. The New York, this whistleblower, he says that these crafts are of non-human origins. And I asked myself, how does he know that?
How do you know?
How could it could be just China that has some more advanced technology than us. But he went on to say, he came to that conclusion based on the vehicle morphologies and material science testing and the possession of unique atomic arrangements. So maybe.
Yeah, it sounds like gobbledygook. Whenever you're trying to argue with somebody and you don't know what you're talking about, you use gobbledygook.
Someone can translate that for me. Maybe you know, Emily, but how do you know they're non-human?
Guys. In this video, U.S.
proof, guys, look.
Navy personnel recorded what appears to be triangles, some flashing, recorded several years ago, off the coast of the United States.
There's something blinking up there, see it? That's proof.
This was recorded while the U.S. Navy ship observed a number of small unmanned aerial systems.
The government's pushing this on us because they want something. They want a lot of money, or they want to suppress us somehow to save us from the aliens.
In the area.
Don't be stupid.
Importantly, the video was taken through night vision goggles with a single lens reflex camera. These remained unresolved for several years.
A military whistleblower has stepped forward with a shocking series of claims.
Shocking.
Air Force veteran David Grush of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency is doing a media tour.
Yeah, he's being interviewed by everybody. You know what I mean? They're trying to create a buzz here. It's not sticking.
And he claims that the U.S. military has a program that has retrieved downed UFOs, including complete vehicles, and that our military has been reverse engineering these UFOs for military weapons programs.
Yeah, maybe it's just a ploy to scare off the Chinese and the Russians that we have these alien craft, and then we're reverse engineering them, and we're building a fleet of flying saucers, so they better beware. If the American public doesn't believe this shit, the Chinese and the Russians aren't going to buy it either.
For the last 80 years. And let's not forget as well that in 2021, the Pentagon released a report claiming there have been more than 140 encounters with unidentified aerial phenomenon, or UFOs. The U.S. government says it was unable to determine definitively whether or not the instances were extraterrestrial in origin.
Zero proof, guys. Zero still.
The Pentagon also confirmed in 2021 footage that was leaked by filmmaker Jeremy Corbell of an alleged UFO hovering above a Navy ship near...
It's weird. A filmmaker got this one. What are the odds?
San Diego.
And it still don't look real.
Back in 2019. In April, there were also 6 whistleblowers who came forward, and likewise, they claimed they worked for military programs to retrieve and to analyze crashed UFOs.
The government's doing everything they can to make you guys believe that they have captured UFOs, they have bodies of aliens, and that this is a threat to us.
They even testified before Congress on this. One of these whistleblowers, Daniel Sheehan, he told Daily Mail that there are UFO reverse engineering programs.
If the U.S. is far
We're making our own UFOs now.
ahead of the rest of the world in terms of these UFO sightings,
We're ahead of the rest of the world in UFO sightings. Watch.
are we, it's 300 times apparently higher than.
It's 300 times higher UFO sightings here in America than anywhere else in the world. It's because the people that live here are fucking nuts.
And
they'll believe anything.
Global median. We've got 2,500 sightings.
Per 10 million people.
Per 10 million.
We are really
We're really on this.
We are the leader in UFO sightings, guys.
Okay, so are we just obsessed with them, or is this thing real?
Brad, Denise, sources telling the News Network investigators that
All right, this is where we're going to end the video. This is this happened very recently, like less than a week ago. It's going to show a 911 call where some people are claiming aliens are in their yard, and then the police show up.
Several agencies believe something landed or crashed. Whether it was non-humans or not, it certainly scared the people living on this property. Now, before we show you that video, listen to their call for help.
All right, I'm not going to interrupt this call at all, as much as I want to talk over it, because it's fucking hysterical. Listen to the 911 call.
There's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we're terrified of it.
So there's 2 people or 2 subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
They're 10-foot tall aliens with big shiny eyes and big mouths, guys. They want to anal probe us. No!
Okay.
911 opera. Okay.
That investigation turning up no concrete answers as
Course
of
not.
Wednesday. Whatever or whoever fell into that yard, long gone within minutes.
Oh, hey, if those 9-foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself.
That's the police
I ain't
officer.
dealing with that.
So yeah, this is quite weird, Brian was saying as we're watching this story. Now,
It's not just weird, it's stupid.
Contact with the family in that video, and as you heard in that 911 call, they seem very reasonable.
Nobody caught any footage of it, though. Did you notice that?
And honestly, quite scared as you heard them in the call. No.
If there were 10-foot alien beings running around your backyard, wouldn't you get some video footage of it? Because you know nobody will believe you.
They don't seem impaired in any way. And whatever crashed by the time the police got there was gone. But sources say that there's really no dispute. Something was in their yard. Exactly what?
Bullshit. Okay? Does any of you people out there believe that aliens have visited us? And that we have dead bodies of aliens? And we have a dozen alien spacecraft? Do you think that's possible? Huh? If so, I'm gonna need you to stay in your house for 15 days to slow the spread. Ugh.